I set a challenge for myself to become so good at sales that people thought I was cheating. And yet every single time I hopped on a sales call, I couldn't close a door, let alone a client, to save my life. And the worst part was I couldn't even figure out where I was going wrong on the sales call. I didn't know if it was a discovery. I didn't know if it was objections. I didn't know if it was my offer. I genuinely had no idea where I was losing sales calls. It got so bad that I had to shut down my entire business. I had to just walk around in minus 10 degrees Celsius snow in Canada, applying to jobs just so I'm able to pay rent. And my family kept asking me how my business was going. And all I could say was, yeah, it's going pretty good. Because I couldn't bear to let them know that I wasn't closing deals to save my life. I couldn't close deals to save my life. And I wasn't making any money with my business. It wasn't until I came up with a tool or a document that has a pretty funny name for it that I call my Sales Doctor Troubleshooting Sheet, when everything changed for me. And I started making sales left and right. I started breaking company sales records. And over the next 5 to 10 minutes, I will share this tool with you. But if your attention span doesn't even let you watch this video for 5 or 10 minutes, then you might as well just scroll away and click away to another video, because I can't help you. But if that's not you, if you genuinely want to be able to start closing a lot more deals and start signing a lot more clients for your agency business or your service business or your info product coaching business, whatever, give me your full attention for the next 5 to 10 minutes and I promise you I will deliver for you. With that being said, let's jump into the Sales Doctor Troubleshooting Sheet. Okay, with this Sales Doctor Troubleshooting Sheet, I'm going to fix all of your sales problems in under 5 minutes. And I know that's a very bold promise to make, but watch me deliver. And in this troubleshooting sheet, there's going to be 16 boxes that you need to check off. And if you can't check off one box, then you're going to know exactly where your sales problems lies. So with that being said, I'm going to assume that you're already getting a ton of leads and you're already booking sales calls. If you're not even booking enough sales calls, I don't think you have a sales problem. I think you have more of a lead problem. But if you already are booking, let's say anywhere between 5 to 10 sales calls, or even like 3 to 10 sales calls every single week, then this troubleshooting sheet is going to be a game changer for you. With that being said, the first thing we need to check off is, did we nurture the leads before they jump on the sales call with us? What we need to do is we need to figure out, did they consume our content before they hop on a sales call? So did they watch our VSL? Did they watch a bunch of YouTube videos or short form videos? Did they watch a ton of our content, testimonials, VSLs, all of that good stuff before they even jumped on a call with us? If they haven't, then they're not properly warmed up, they're not properly nurtured to be able to close on the first call. If they haven't done that, that is basically where your closing issue lies. If they have gone through all of your content, if they've watched a couple of YouTube videos, if they've watched some short form videos, some testimonials, some VSL, all that good stuff, then you check out this box, because this is not where your closing issue lies. The second thing is, did we close most of their open loops before they hop on a sales call with us? What I mean by open loops is that when people watch your content, if there's something within your VSL or within your, let's say, YouTube videos or testimonials or whatever, there's something that bothers a prospect, there's something that they're watching, they're like, you know what, that's I'm not really sure if that is going to work for me. One of those things. If they watch your content and they have one of those open loops open up in their mind, we need to make sure that when they hop on a sales call, or even before they hop on a sales call, we're closing these open loops. Because if we don't, when they do hop on the sales call, that thing is going to keep playing in their mind, and that is going to be the reason why they don't close. And then towards the end of the call, they're going to give you some BS excuse or some BS smoke screen, and you're not going to be able to figure out what the real reason is, which is basically their open loop. So did we close most of their open loops before they even hop on a call with us? If the answer is yes, then we check out this box as well. If the answer is no, this is where we're losing the call. This is where we're losing the sale. Third thing is, did they receive personalized email and text reminders before jumping on the call with us? This is pretty self-explanatory, but this is also one extra step that most people don't take. So if you're going the extra mile, if you're taking the extra step and you're sending them a personal email or a personalized email or personalized text reminder, or maybe even make a Loom video for them, or send like a selfie style video and just send it over to them before the call, saying something like, hey, Mr. Prospect, super excited to hop on a call with you. Make sure that you watch XYZ videos before you hop on the call with us. Something like that. Very simple. If you're doing this, then check out this box. This is where you're not losing the sale. Once you've been able to check off all 3 of these boxes, you're going to know that you're not losing the sales call because of anything that's happening before the call. That means that if you are still not able to make a lot of sales, if you're still not able to close a lot of deals, you're doing something wrong on the sales call. Which brings us to point number 2, which is, did we dig up enough pain and amplify that pain to the point where our prospects need the solution? Are we finding out what's currently not working for them? This is basically what they're currently doing, their current situation. Are we genuinely finding out whatever they're currently doing is not working for them? Which you always should be on the sales call. So if you are, you check out this box. Are we getting them to admit that their lack of results is a result of their current process? This is super crucial, because we need to make sure that when we're on the sales call, we get the prospect to admit that their lack of results, the reason they've not been able to get to their goal, is because of their current process. The reason we do this, the reason this is super important, is because if we don't, then towards the end of the sales call, they're going to give you an objection that they're not going to move forward with you, because they're going to think that their current process is okay. It's not that bad. They can still get results with this if they do more volume. If they just send more emails or send more cold DMs or run more ads or do whatever, or post more content, they're going to get results. So we need to show them that the reason they're not getting results is because of what they're doing right now. It's because of their current email strategy or current ad strategy or current content strategy. So once they take responsibility and admit that the reason they're not at their goal is because of their current process, is when we're going to be able to show them that our solution is the right thing for them. So if you're doing this, check out this box. If you're not, this is where you're losing the sale. Did we identify, amplify, and show the consequences of not solving their pain point? What most people do wrong, what most business owners do wrong on their sales call, which is why they most of the time lose a deal, is they only find out different pain points. They ask some questions here and there, and they're able to find out different pain points. And they leave it at there. They just find the pain points and they move on to the next part of the call. that is the wrong thing to do, because we need to first of all find the pain point, we need to amplify the pain point, and most importantly, we need to show the consequences of not solving that pain point. Because here's the thing, you need to understand, people are like, pain is felt when consequences are realized. They can give you the pain points, like what they're struggling with right now, but they're not going to feel that until they realize the consequences. I'll give you an example, and I've given this example multiple times in the past. If, let's say, you have one of your loved ones that's in the hospital, and you need to come up with $50,000 in order to pay their medical bills, that is your pain point. You currently don't have $50,000 to pay their medical bills, right? That is your pain point. In order for someone to amplify the pain point, all someone has to do is ask you what your strategy is to be able to come up with this $50,000. And if you don't have a strategy, that is basically when someone is amplifying the pain point for you, because you don't have a strategy to be able to come up with $50,000 and pay your loved one's medical bills. So that is someone amplifying the pain point for you. Now, if someone wanted to genuinely show you the real consequences of you not solving this problem, of you not coming up with $50,000, all they have to do is ask you, what happens if you're not able to come up with the $50,000? And you're going to realize, you're going to understand the consequences, which is you're not going to be able to pay for your loved one's medical bills. And as a result, they're going to die. That is the consequence. So now you're feeling the pain a lot more because you understand, you realize the consequences. So pain is felt when consequences are realized. And we need to be doing the exact same things with our prospects as well, where we need to show them the consequences of what happens if they don't solve their problem. Because if they don't feel the consequences, they're not going to buy from you. I can promise you that. At the end of the call, they're going to tell you that they're okay with what they're doing right now, and they're going to keep trying by themselves. But if you show them the consequences of exactly what happens if they don't solve this problem as soon as possible, that is when they're going to have a lot of pain points, and they're going to be open to working with you and buying from you. So if you're already doing this, you check out this box. If you're not, then that is where you're losing the sale. Are we finding out about their previous buying experiences or lack thereof? This is the information that we need to be able to pre-handle next, but we need to figure out every single thing that they've tried in the past, or if they haven't even purchased any solution or bought from someone in the past to be able to solve this problem. If we're finding out this information, check out this box. If you're not, this is where you're losing the sale. Are we pre-handling their objections? So once we find out whether they have purchased something before or they didn't purchase something before, we can pre-handle their objections. So if someone says that they haven't purchased anything before to be able to solve whatever problem they're struggling with, all we have to ask them is, why not? Whatever they tell you to that why not question is exactly the objection that they're going to throw at you towards the end of the call as well. If someone says the reason they've not bought in the past is because every other solutions were too expensive, then you're going to know for a fact that towards the end of your call, they're going to throw a price objection at you. If they say that, you know what, I thought that I could do this by myself, then you know for a fact that they're going to say the exact same thing towards the end of the call as well. So you need to be able to pre-handle that right then and there so that they don't throw the same objection towards the end of the call. You need to show them that that way of thinking, that mindset of wanting to do everything by themselves, or that mindset of thinking everything is expensive, is exactly the reason why they've not been able to get to their goal. So once you have done that, you're pre-handling the objections, you check out this box. If you're not doing this, and this is exactly where you're losing the sale, because if you're not pre-handling, it's going to show up at the later part of the call, and you're going to most likely lose the deal. The next thing is, are we finding out their buying criteria? What a buying criteria is the exact things that a prospect would want on a product or service for them to want to move forward with it. I'll give you the perfect example. If let's say someone wants to become jacked, right? They want to add like 20 pounds of muscle and they want to look a lot more jacked. If they feel like the only way to get jacked is through steroids, then that is their buying criteria. So if you come to them and you tell them that you're going to get them jacked, but you're trying to sell a workout program, when they believe that to get jacked, you need steroids, they're not going to buy from you. Because while you're helping them get to the destination, which is getting jacked, you're not helping them get to the destination with their buying criteria, which is steroids. So we need to figure out what exactly a prospect would want in a product or service for them to want to move forward with it, which is their buying criteria. Once we find that out, we check out this box. If we haven't found this out, then we might be able to get them to the destination, but they're still not going to buy from us because we didn't figure out their buying criteria. The next thing is, are we finding out what their goals are, which is very self-explanatory. If you're doing this, check out this box. Once you've been able to check off all of these boxes, then you know for a fact that whatever you're doing in the discovery is not the reason why you're losing the sale. But more often than not, this is exactly where most people do lose their sale. But if you are the top 1% and you've been able to check off all of these boxes, then you know for a fact that the discovery is not where you're losing the sale. So then we move on to step number 3, which is, do we have a good product that solves our market's problem? Are they understanding how our product or service gets them from where they are to where they want to go, following their buying criteria? One of the biggest mistakes I see business owners make on sales calls, I see my clients make on sales calls, is that they tell people what they do and not how they can solve the prospect's problem. If you're just telling the prospect what you do, then the prospect doesn't really see the value in what you're offering. The prospect can't really connect how your product or service is going to be able to solve their problem. So what we need to be doing is we need to be showing them how every single component of our product or service is solving every single one of the problems that they mentioned during the discovery right here. So if they mention that they want to be able to get more jacked, they also want to be able to lose weight, and they want to be able to run 5K in 20 minutes, and they also want to be able to cook really delicious meals that don't restrict their eating. If those are their 4 problems, and if we show them with our product or service that we have a workout plan that is going to get them 20 pounds of muscle, but we also have a weight loss program that's going to help them lose weight as well. We have a running program that's going to help them run 5K in 20 minutes, and at the same time, we're also going to give them a cookbook that's going to help them make delicious meals without restricting their diet. And they're going to see that our product or service is solving every single one of their problems. So they're going to be a lot more open to buying from us. So if you're already doing this, then you check out this box. If you're not, then this is where you're losing the sale. Do they feel like they've found the solution to their problems? Again, once you've done this, they're going to feel like they have found the solution to their problems. So you check out this box as well. Did we do a temp check before we drop the price? A temp check is basically a question that we ask before we drop the price, which is, Mr. Prospect, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being this, everything that I just talked to you about just completely sucks and you're regretting hopping on a call with me. 10 being, this is exactly what you're looking for. Where do you currently fall on that scale? If they tell you anything between, let's say, 7, 8, 9, or 10, you know for a fact that you've done a pretty good job and you are most likely going to close this deal. If it's anything below a 7, then there's still something on their mind that's stopping them from moving forward with you. So figure out what that is, solve that right then and there before you drop the price. Because if you don't and you just immediately drop the price, you are most likely just going to kill that deal. So do a time check before you drop the price. If you're doing this, check out this box. If you're not, this is where you're losing the sale. Once you've been able to check off all of these boxes, then you know for a fact that you're not losing the sales call in the offer stage of the call, which brings us to the last part of the call, which is, did we properly handle all objections and get the prospects to get over their fears? Are they 100% ready to get started other than objection? So if they throw, let's say, a price objection, are they 100% ready and sold on your product or service other than the price? If the answer is yes, then you check out this box. Were you able to figure out if their objection was a genuine logistical issue or just a smokescreen due to fear? If they say something like, I need to think about this, that is a smokescreen. Did we figure out if the reason they will need to think about this is because they're just some genuine logistical stuff? So let's say they're currently in a hospital and they're not in the right mindset to be able to make a decision. That is a genuine logistical issue. So if that's the case, that is fine. But if they're just saying, I need to think about this, or that is how I always make my decisions, that is always going to be due to fear. So were we able to figure out if it was a genuine logistical issue or a smokescreen due to fear? If you have been able to figure it out, then you check out this box. If you haven't, then obviously you're going to suffer and you're not going to be able to close the deal. If it was a genuine logistical issue, were you able to find a workaround? If you have, check out this box. If it was a smokescreen due to fear, were we able to get them out of fear-based thinking? So if they're saying they need to think about this, or this is how they always make decisions, or they need to speak to their partner, or some other excuse, some other smokescreen, anything that is not let's get started, that is always going to be due to fear. Were we able to get them out of fear-based thinking and into opportunity-based thinking or outcome-based thinking? If we were, we check out this box. And if we've done all of these things, then we're going to be closing the deal. But if we're not able to check off one of these boxes, one out of the 16 boxes, then that is exactly where we're losing our deal. If we're not able to check off multiple boxes, then we're just fucking up our sales calls. That's exactly why we're not being able to close a lot more deals and sign a lot more clients for our business. So go through this entire troubleshooting sheet, figure out what exactly you're not doing on the sales call that is causing you to lose your sale. I'm going to have the sheet in the description so you can check it out, download it for yourself, and figure out where you're losing the sales call. If there's anything that you're not sure of or you're not clear how to do, drop a comment and I'm going to reply to that and help you out. But with that being said, I hope this was helpful. And if it was, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for the following videos because I'm going to make a lot more videos on how to close a lot more deals and sign a lot more clients and make a lot more money with your business.